I can't give it all. I can't give it all away. I can't give it all. I can't give it all away. I'm having fun working on my favorite projects. Make a little birdhouse in your soul, not to put too fine a point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Make a little birdhouse in your soul. I'm going to do Stand By Me karaoke following sharing this artwork with you and reading this quite beautiful chapter of Giant Bluefin by Douglas Whynott. Why not? Why not read more of it out loud and make videos and do this shite? Why not? A high velocity lifestyle. Giant bluefin tuna. Caught a big dreamfish. I can't give it all away. They come to build a wall between us. You know that they won't win. There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Palmer and Pritchard, doctors. When a doctor goes wrong, he is the first of criminals. He has nerve and he has knowledge. Sherlock Holmes. Seems to me to be a most dark and sinister business, says Watson. Dark and sinister enough, says Holmes. My dear Watson. I can't give it all away. Let the cat out of the bag. These were done today between sitting at the fire in Paniera over here and sitting by the more authentic fireplace over at Public House here in Starbridge. I met Nancy, Chris, and Dennis, all from Starbridge. Starbridge is called the Crossroads of New England, according to the sign out here. Away. I read this whole entire book like on the YouTube channel 2.5 years ago, maybe. And I don't know, it's weird saying that because was that even me? Is this me? Is this you? Right? From Jiddu Krishnamurti real quick here. Having lived on Earth for millennia, Why are we as we are? What is the future of all of us? During that evolution of experience, knowledge, in actual fact, what has happened to each of us? What shall we do if we see the fact that we are the entire humanity? What am I to do living in this corrupt society? Will whatever I do affect society? Am I different from society? Is there an action without motive, self-interest, or seeking gain that is not dependent on the past or a pattern of the future? What year is it? Not in Kansas anymore. I can't give it all away. Chapter 6 of Giant Bluefin by Douglas Whynott, not Willnott. Willnott is something else. A high velocity lifestyle. After this, Stand By Me karaoke in the bathroom studio. Bluefin tuna have evolved into high-mass, transoceanic, high-speed organisms. Though they weigh from 300 to more than 1,000 pounds and move through a medium 800 times denser than air, bluefin can swim in bursts of up to 50 miles per hour. Though they are 6 feet to 10 inches in length, 6 feet to 10 feet in length, imagine that, robust and muscular, they can beat their tail fins at frequencies of 30 cycles per second, an indistinguishable rate, a blur to the human eye. Bluefin have the ideal streamlined shape, a fusiform body that tapers at both ends, thickest at a point 1/3 of the way from nose to lunate, crescent moon-shaped, tail fin. The head is triangularly pyramidal, flat on the top, oblique on the sides. At the point of greatest depth are the first dorsal fin, the ventral fins, and the pectoral fins. The first dorsal fin folds back into a groove to decrease drag. The pectorals can lie back into hollows on the side of the body. Like wings, they are used for gliding and turning and to provide lift. A line drawn vertically from the dorsal to the ventral fins and horizontally from the tip of the nose through the eye to the fork of the tail fin would cross at the pivot point of the pectorals at the center of gravity 1/3 of the way along the fusiform body. A bluefin's muscular power is concentrated upon the tail fin, which sweeps from side to side, providing 90% of the locomotive power, the thunniform mode of swimming. Most fish swim in the subcarangiform mode, flexing their bodies back and forth, creating waves that produce acceleration. But the bluefin body is rigid, with a robust midsection tapering elegantly to a tail. A caudal peduncle that is round and narrow, rather than undulate. The thunniform swimmer oscillates, moving its sickle-shaped tail fin like a bird beating its wings, progressing like a boat with a propeller. The tail fin is rigid, unlike the brushy fins of other fish. Prehistoric fishermen in Japan used the fin rays of the bluefin for spearheads. The musculature of most fish is arranged in a geodesic interplay of rows and bundles and opposing cones that contract to create waves of increasing amplitude, a lateral orientation for a flip-flop movement. Bluefin muscle is also highly geodesic. The vast musculature, though, focuses its power not laterally, but to the rear, upon an elaborate bundle of tendons passing through the caudal peduncle like a high-power cable, attaching to the base of the tail fin. The caudal peduncle is also machined with pulleys and levers. Though the spine is rigid, the tail is double-jointed. Thus, the lunate fin can vary its angle of attack for optimum efficiency, turning slightly inward, say, after the tail sweeps outward. There are also two caudal keels, bones which look like small lateral fins and which function as pulleys, increasing the leverage of the lateral tendons upon the tail fin. The keels converge at the fork of the tail fin, directing a high-pressure jet across the middle of the fin. This reduces turbulence at the top of the fin and improves lift. The lifting force of a lunate tail fin is a product of its quote-unquote aspect ratio, the relationship of span of fin to its total area, the tall triangular sail. A bluefin has the highest aspect ratio among the funiform swimmers. The pyramidal head consists of elongated cells that form a hard surface, or corselet. The eyes have adipose fatty lids that also reduce turbulence. Their nearly spherical lenses can focus on objects both near and far. The brain, large as a man's thumb, tightly enclosed in a bony box, warmer than the surrounding water, is remarkable for the enormously developed optical lobe. The bluefin has a large heart designed to work as a high-pressure pump. Tuna have large blood volumes with the highest proportion of oxygen known among fishes, and a concentration of hemoglobin as high as that of humans. The gill surface area of the tuna is the highest per unit among fishes, a respiratory area that also approaches that of humans. Since fast swimming requires substantial energy, it follows that the metabolic rates of tuna are also the highest known among fish. Bluefin are passive or ram ventilators, a mode of respiration for the perpetually moving. Even at basal or resting phase, tuna are moving at from 1 to 2 body lengths per second. As they swim with open mouths, a rush of water passes through the gills and then streams along the sides. Grooves along the tongue direct the flow of water, and when the tuna are moving at speed, with pectorals folded at the hollows, these grooves help to provide lift. The stream of water along their sides also reduces turbulence, increasing the streamline effect. And the ram of water through the gills serves the high oxygen, high metabolism needs of the bluefin's high-velocity lifestyle. Fish have two kinds of muscle, distinct from each other. Dark muscle is highly vascularized and tends to work aerobically, processing food by oxidation. Light muscle is less vascularized and metabolizes anaerobically, altering glucose by means of fermentation. In tuna, dark muscle operates continuously, contracting to propel the fish during its steady state, cruising phase of swimming. Light muscle comes into play during high speed or burst swimming. While dark muscle tends to function like a slow-burning flame, light muscle tends to explode and to exhaust quickly. In most fish, the dark muscle runs along the side, just underneath the skin. It's an arrangement well suited for the subchorangiform swimmer, making its switching undulations back and forth. Tuna, however, in developing the funiform mode of swimming, internalized the dark muscle. Rather than a strip of muscle under the surface, the tuna has a large mass of dark muscle situated in a broad band between the backbone and the skin, running along the midplane of the body. This dark muscle, directed at the tail fin, provides the continuous contractions that propel the tuna at 1 or 2 body lengths per second, at 4 to 5 miles per hour. The vast majority of fish are ectothermic, with bodies at the temperature of the water around them. Bluefin tuna, however, are endothermic, or warm-blooded, able to maintain body temperatures between 77 and 86 degrees Fahrenheit, while inhabiting waters between 45 and 86 degrees, from the Gulf of Mexico to Norway. They do this by means of a system of cross-current heat exchangers, which capture and retain the heat produced by the dark mussel. These heat exchangers are called the rete mirabile, which means wonderful net. Water is a difficult medium from which to satisfy the demands of the highly oxygenated. It contains 30 times less oxygen than air. Yet it has 3,000 times the capacity to absorb heat. Water. When blood moves through the dark muscles of the fish, it rises in temperature by about 1 or 2 degrees. The blood flows into the gills through thin and elongated cells. Coming in near contact with the water in order to absorb the oxygen, all the heat is lost. In most fish, the blood flows below the spine and radiates outward to the muscles, returning along the same central pathway. Tuna reverse the system. Their blood flows just under the skin and then branches into the muscles. Tuna have 4 pairs of subcutaneous arteries, a pair above and below the dark muscle bands on each side. Fine networks of vessels, each 1/10 of a millimeter thick, branch off to form the rete mirabile. In a rete, I don't know how you pronounce it, R-E-T-E, in a rete, cold blood coming from the surface flows next to warm blood coming from the muscles. There are many surfaces of contact along hundreds of thousands of vessels, thin enough for diffusion of heat but thick enough to prevent the diffusion of oxygen. The system is so efficient that nearly 98% of the muscular heat is shunted back into the system. Warm blood allowed for niche expansion. The bluefin tuna, a tropical fish in essence, ranges into cold waters to feed on underexploited food sources. Warm blood also allows for faster swimming, since a muscle 10 degrees warmer can contract 3 times as fast. Thus, a fish like the bluefin can pursue faster prey such as squid, mackerel, and herring. Bluefin also have retes to warm their stomachs, and so digestion is faster. Another advantage for a fish that feeds seasonally and opportunistically. Dark muscle operates continuously for sustained swimming. Light muscle, forming 2/3 of body weight, comes into play during burst swimming. Then the fish approaches velocities of 20 body lengths per second, and they are 6 to 10 feet long. Light muscle in tuna creates unusually high activity, the most intense anaerobic glycosis known in nature. One enzyme, lactate dehydrogenase, appears in the highest presence known, an average of 5,500 units per 1/10 of a gram of muscle, while dolphin muscle at the same temperature contains only 600 units of LDH. Such high levels of activity would seem so explosive that the fish could cook itself, but tuna somehow are able to shunt off the heat. Another enzyme that appears in tuna light muscle converts energy at levels similar to the flight muscles of hummingbirds and bumblebees, also creatures with high velocity lifestyles, oscillating their locomotive organs, lunate tail, diaphanous wings, at rates that blur recognition. I can't give it all. I can't give it all away. If I can't control my destiny, no control I can't believe I have no control. It's all deranged.